Hello everyone, welcome to my office. As you can hear in the background, we've got our youth theater choir going on in the background, ready for their performances that happened this weekend. But I've got some time right now to work on my RP accent. Today I'll be doing a very short selection from Blithe Spirit, Noel Coward's Blithe Spirit. We did this show here at my theater company about 3 or 4 years ago. Great fun show, and I'll be doing a short, brief monologue. One of Charles's, he's the writer in it. Very refined person, very proper person. So here's some of my inspirations I want to share with y'all. And I think they're fairly fitting. I've got if you can see right here, I've got Alfred, and I love his name, Alfred Thaddeus Crane Pennyworth. Now, if that's not RP, I don't know what is. But just the butler in Batman, he is so dignified, he's so refined. So to me, it's a great inspiration and kind of a middle image of what received pronunciation is. And then I have Buckingham Palace. I mean, again, you think of the Queen, you think of the Prince, you think of the King. That's kind of, to me, that's again right centered in RP. It's something that I can kind of see tangible in architecture, because Buckingham Palace is so kind of refined, especially with their pretty gardens, which, as you can see, this picture has a lot of those pretty gardens in there, and so that helps me kind of define what and visualize where I'm supposed to be at. And then I've got, and you just have to love, Mrs. Potts from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Of course, the original Mrs. Potts, the voice, was none other than Angela Lansbury, and she's such a wonderful, wonderful voice. But again, Mrs. Potts, the quaint little maid in the castle, she really kind of pinpoints it for me on those issues. So I just can't help but to think about that. So being from Texas, you can imagine that I have a lot of challenges when it comes to doing a monologue like that. Of course, I wrote some of them down. The kind of the in words like the north, the o sound, those kind of give it to me. You can see the symbol right there. And what I really struggle with is when I have to do things like in the north, down there, to go from the o to the ah, the da, the down there. Those are tricky for me. They really, really are. And so, and then even going with the obviously, and trying to kind of switch in and out of those really quick, for me, they are tough, real tough for me. So I'll do the best I can. I don't have a lot of experience. I've played a lot of roles in my life, but I've always steered away from the British dialect and roles surrounding that. I just don't. I think I've done maybe one or two in my career, and they're challenging. So for posture, I wrote down a few things here. I've got a little, I love my little cartoon, a little posture analysis. So when I think of the RP's home position, I feel like there's space. That's just me. I feel like I'm ready. I've kind of got this kind of loose, the tongue kind of loose and floppy. Of course, I kind of recognize that with singing. And the teeth, they don't feel like they're touching when I'm just kind of there. And then when I'm in conversation, there's there's space between the top and the bottom of the teeth, but they get closer together. There's very little space between the two, giving in a fierce sort of sound. So I guess as I keep going, the space kind of diminishes more, and then a lot of the things I see, the emotions are held. They're kind of in reserve, kind of held tightly to the vest, but they kind of can boil and begin to boil. A visualization I've always had is like a tea kettle that's about to slowly simmer, and it comes up. I have a sentence here that I've kind of developed here recently with this class, and I find that very helpful. Mine, it goes, when Harry was walking his dog, a man on a horse rode by with an owl upon his shoulders. I think that's kind of fun. So I like that's my sentence. So I'm going to give a whirl here. I'm going to give a whirl on Blithe Spirit, written by Noel Coward. It's in the Samuel French Library. And what has happened here is Charles is speaking to Ruth, and Ruth is kind of saying, you were a little fruity last night with all of our friends and the psychic, and so I think you were drunk. And of course, heaven forbid, even though, like any good British show, they're always drinking and they're always smoking. So here we go. This is Charles. Once and for all, Ruth, I would like you to understand that what happened last night was nothing whatsoever to do with alcohol. You very adroitly rationalized the whole affair to your own satisfaction. But your deductions are based on complete fallacy. I am willing to grant you that it was an aberration, some sort of odd psychic delusion brought on by suggestion or hypnosis. I was stone cold sober from first to last and extremely upset into the bargain. Well, thank you all for listening. I hope I did that justice. I love No Coward Plays. They're quite enjoyable to watch. Not much of a British dialect kind of guy, but I'm working on it, and I'm very, very excited to work on the Cockney aspect of things. Thank you all. Good night. We'll see you later.